Well, hello everyone, and this is Deidre Kindred. Welcome to Health Chats Among Friends. So tonight I have my special co-host here with me.
Hi, I'm Sue Wallace. I'm a certified senior advisor, and Deidre and I collaborate on several projects, and she invited me to be here tonight to meet our special guest.
Yes, and we have a wonderful special guest returning for maybe the third or fourth time, Ruby Shoals, who is an independent insurance agent and an RN, and my sister by a different mister. Say hi, Ruby.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me back again.
Oh, we are so happy to have you back again. You are such a wealth of knowledge. So Ruby's been here before several times, educating us on long-term care insurance, supplement insurance, and whole life with living benefits insurance. And tonight we get the pleasure of learning about mortgage protection insurance.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great topic to me.
Yes. So Ruby, before we get into our hot topic, tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Just kind of refresh them.
Refresh. Okay. Well, I'm a retired registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 44 years. I was looking for another career in financial services, found me. And now what I do, I'm an independent insurance agent, broker, and field underwriter, which means that I can match companies and products to what my clients need instead of just being with one company and that's all I can offer. So there's not a one size fits all for insurance. Everybody is a different age, different health conditions. They have different needs, different budgets. So I got appointed with a company that allows me to be a broker so that I can shop for my clients instead of them having to shop for themselves.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
I think
is.
that's so important. I like the statement about you shopping for your clients, you know, being able to match them up with the right services according to their needs. So that's so important. So
Yeah, it's not about me, it's about them.
That is so important to me. I just love that. I love that about you, Ruby. And I know that your clients know instantly that you are there for them. And that's, you know, it's not about what a residual that you might make,
right.
but yet what would be the best product for them to have for that time in their life, because things change in the insurance world, I would assume, right, Ruby?
Yes, Miss Sue, they do change. And you know, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So you may purchase something that you think is a good fit, but you were never educated on the options.
Right.
You were just sold. This is what I have, this is what I'll sell you, not what are your needs and how can I meet those needs. My philosophy since I got into this industry has always been mission before commission.
I stole that line from you.
Oh, I love that.
I stole that line from you because it is so important. It should be the truth.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's so important is financial education first, so that you understand why you're getting that particular policy and what it will do for your family. Because after you're gone, it's too late to make a change and make sure that it fits the needs that you want for your family. And so that's why I said mission before commission. I have even sit down with people and told them the policy you have is fine for what you want it to do. And if you want additional, we can do additional. And these are some of the costs of that. But don't get rid of the policy you have because you will never be able to get it at that rate. So anything additional is going to cost you extra money and you may not even get as much coverage. So I love doing policy reviews, because most people don't know what they have.
Okay.
They can find the policy.
Yeah.
Well, that is so true, and I think that we all concur with that. But why don't you tell us about the mortgage insurance field? Because that's kind of what, a lot of our viewers probably want to know about that and how they could utilize that better in their overall insurance plan.
Yeah, the big American dream is to own your own home. But that comes with a lot of responsibilities. In this day and age, it's pretty much taken 2 incomes to make ends meet. So imagine you got a husband and wife with kids. They just bought a new house. They've invested $350,000 in that house. They've got good jobs and they're healthy and things are going well. But life happens. What happens if one person is not able to work, or one person dies too soon, or one person gets sick? Will that other spouse be able to keep up with those mortgage payments and continue the lifestyle they're in? Sometimes that's a yes, sometimes it's a no. But what we want people to understand is that mortgage protection insurance, if you buy a house, it is a necessity because tomorrow's not promised. I know you both have known people that are here today, sometimes gone today or gone tomorrow with just suddenly.
Right.
And it's a sudden change. So mortgage insurance and a mortgage is one of the biggest expenses people have, but they really don't understand the options of mortgage protection insurance. What's available out there for me? So there's a lot of different types of mortgage protection. The one that most people hear about is when I buy a house and I finance it through the bank, well, then I get mortgage protection insurance through the bank. But if you die, who is the beneficiary of that policy? It's the bank.
Oh, so
yeah, the house may be paid off, but there may be some other expenses and stuff that part of that money could have been used for, but you don't have that option. So looking at personal mortgage protection insurance gives the husband, spouse, single person options as to what happens to the money that goes to the beneficiary. Maybe there's 2 kids. Grandma's going to end up with the kids or helping because there's only one person now. So pay part of the mortgage off, take part of the money, pay off the cars, take part of the money, set aside for college education for the kids. So personal mortgage protection gives you options of what to do with the money. It doesn't just pay off the mortgage. So sometimes you need more than just paying off the mortgage.
Ruby, is that a choice that you can make when you're financing a home? I always thought it was kind of mandatory that you took the mortgage insurance with the lender.
Well, there's certain, it's called a PMI. And if you pay 20% down on your loan, you don't require that PMI insurance. Right. It's not required. But even if I don't think it's just required for you to get mortgage protection insurance. It's a good idea, but I'm not sure if the lenders require it. I talked to a lender this week and she said that her clients are asking her about mortgage protection insurance. Who does she know that provides it? And she didn't say that they did. Or that they had to do it. So it may be a preference for the lender. So I can't answer that one because I don't know the answer.
It's changed, in the time since I've purchased a house and things like that. So anyway, it'd be something that we could maybe check.
Yeah, definitely could look into it, find out if anybody has a question about it. I could definitely research it and get back with anybody that has that question. But so some of the options for mortgage protection, a lot of times people are getting a 30-year loan. So there's permanent insurance, which is whole life or index life, and it costs a little bit more, but you'll have insurance as long as you pay the premium. Sometimes you need a term policy. So you got a 30-year mortgage, well, you get a 30-year term policy. But that's gonna cover that mortgage to the end of the mortgage. And then after the end of that 30 years, that money is gone. So if you and your mortgage outlive that 30 years or 20 years or whatever you get, well, then that money is gone. But did you know there's a cash back option for mortgage protection insurance?
No, I didn't know that.
So there's several companies have a cash back option. And that means that you may get the policy for, you got a 30-year loan. Okay, I'm gonna get a 25-year loan, 25-year mortgage protection insurance. And I outlive that 25 years. So in most term insurances, at the end of that 25 years, if you didn't die, that insurance is gone and that money is gone and you don't get anything. But with the cash back option, if you live, you get all your money back.
Wow.
And then, like I said, well, the reason I said 25 years is you've got a 30-year loan. Okay, you get all your money back in 25 years, pay the loan off 5 years early.
Right, that's smart.
That is very
So
smart.
having a cash back policy for mortgage protection is great. But people don't know what's out there. That's my job, is to educate people of your options. You got term, you got cash back, you got mortgage protection that will just take care of the payment until that mortgage is paid off. And then you got the permanent policies that accumulate cash, and as long as you pay the premium, even if you don't have a mortgage anymore, you still have life insurance, and most people will need it at some point. Because you know, life will end.
Right. So I have a question, Ruby. Excuse me. So is it ever too late to invest in mortgage protection insurance?
Long as you have a mortgage,
Okay.
it's not too late. So if you got a mortgage and it's a balance on that mortgage, say you started out with a $200,000 mortgage, okay, now you paid it down to $100,000. But you're still worried about that part of your mortgage. You just get what you need. So if you have 100,000 balance left, then you get the 100,000 worth of mortgage protection. You can either do cash back, you can do the term for the length of the term you have left on the mortgage, or you can do permanent.
Okay, so someone's in their mortgage and say they got a 30-year mortgage and they're, I don't know, 20 years in, 15 years in, and they only got a little bit, they can get mortgage protection insurance on the remaining balance.
Yes, ma'am. They can get mortgage protection on the remaining. And they still have those same options.
Oh, wow, that's good.
That's good. That's very good.
So let me ask y'all a question. Have you heard of people getting sick and losing their homes?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, cancer, heart attack, and strokes are three of the big reasons that people will lose their home, because they'll get those conditions and they can no longer work. So you got a husband and a wife. The wife has cancer. What is the husband's gonna do while the wife is getting treatment? They're gonna go with them. They're gonna be taking off work and going with them.
That's right.
So you not only have one income that's compromised,
Right.
you have two incomes that are compromised.
Right.
Unless you have a healthcare advocate that can go with your significant other while they're going through this.
Like,
And that just happened to know somebody
Yes,
that's in
yes.
that situation. But one of the biggest causes of bankruptcy is medical expenses.
yeah, it
Right.
really can, it can destroy families so quickly.
Mhm.
And you know that I'm a big advocate for long-term care insurance, and I talk about that a lot. But you know, this is gives me a new dimension to talk to people about mortgage insurance.
Absolutely.
Because maybe they haven't thought about that
Right.
particular avenue. So, but it's really interesting, and the industry has changed. It sounds like a whole lot.
It has.
I bought my first house years ago, so
Yeah, it has changed, and we want people to know their options and to be prepared for what if. See, there's three challenges people have to look at facing. What if I die too soon? Who is going to be affected? Will my wife and my kids be able to keep the same lifestyle? Or will my husband and my kids be able to keep the same lifestyle? What if I get sick and I can no longer work? Will we be able to keep our home? And then living too long without adequate income is another challenge that we face. But with mortgage protection insurance now, some companies have living benefits. So if you get a heart attack, cancer, stroke, even Alzheimer's, dementia, part of the money from those policies can be used to pay medical expenses or bills or whatever is going on. They just pull the money out of the policy. So that gives it a limit.
policy. I love those types of policies. In fact, when I visit with people and talk, when I identify they don't have any kind of long-term plan to, you know, what if this happened, you know, what would you do? I tell them that I had heard that there was an insurance policy that they could have that would have a rider for health care or something like that. Is that right, Ruby? Is that what you're
Yes.
talking about?
Some of them have a rider, which just means you add it on to the regular traditional policy. And you have to pay, if it's a rider, you have to pay extra for it. But some of the companies now have the living benefits as part of the regular policy. You don't pay extra for it.
I like that. I like that term, living benefits, because that is just telling people that, you know, if you had this need, then you could use it for that. But if you didn't, well, then might be something that you could pass on to your beneficiary. And so, you know, I think that's great. I just think that is so nice that they have that now. So I will be sending some people to you, I can tell you, because I talk about that all the time. If they don't have,
You have to take care of it.
if I were to buy a plan to help me with long-term care now, I would do that kind of policy rather than a long-term policy, because like you say, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I just called on a client this past week, and that happened to the husband. He paid for long-term insurance for a long time, but he passed away because of COVID. And so the wife,
Use it.
you know, so anyway, so the wife has got some kind of rider now on her policy. So, but she had to experience it to really know that. So I'm so glad to know that you can help people with all kind of options, Ruby.
Wow, she's amazing.
That is wonderful.
And one thing that Ruby did mention earlier too is that your existing policies, excuse me, sometimes you bought those years ago, and she will look at those policies and tell you, oh, it's a good one, or you need to beef it up, or whatever. She's not the type of agent that sits down with you and makes you feel like you're an idiot. for choosing that said policy. She goes over it with you, make sure you understand, and then gives you a avenue to think about to beef up your policy or change your policy or whatever is best for you.
Yeah.
Love me some Ruby Shoals.
Yeah, and then also too, when you look at it, making changes to policies, you never, ever get rid of a policy until the other one, if you're changing, is in full effect. You have that policy in hand and it's in full effect, because you know, underwriting takes a while. You apply for the policy, then you have to get approved for the policy. Then they have to draft the payment, and then they have to get you your policy in hand so that you know what's in it. But I have people that have wanted to, oh, I need to get a new policy, I'm just gonna drop my other. I said, no, you don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring.
Yeah.
And between the new policy and the old policy, God could call you home, or you could get sick, a cancer, heart attack, stroke, major accident, and then you would no longer qualify. So you have to make sure you don't make a change to your old existing policy until your new one is in effect.
Right.
So what you're saying, most policies these days are underwritten. Almost all of them are underwritten.
Yeah. Pretty much all of them are underwritten to a degree. Now, sometimes a lot of the policies now, you don't have to do blood or medical exam or anything. And some of the companies will go up to $1 million with no exam and no blood collected. But all of our medical histories are in what we call an MIB. So they will pull your medical history, and they'll also look at your prescription drug history. And then they'll also look at your driving record, believe it or not, that affects everything.
Yes.
So they have a lot of information at their fingertips that is allowing them to do this without having to do the lab and exams. Because a lot of information out there on us that we don't know is out there.
No, that's true.
Yes, very. So Ruby, you are just, oh my goodness, you're just such a wealth of knowledge. So if someone wanted to find out more about you, your policies, your resources, your services that you provide, what would be some of the best ways for them to reach out to you?
The best way to get me is to send me a text message. I have truck will travel. So currently I live in Texarkana, Texas side, but I'm in Grand Prairie this week. So I'm a roving now, so I go where my kids need me. And so I'm here in Grand Prairie for a week. But because of the changes, COVID made some changes in our industry. And pretty much as long as I have a phone, a laptop, or a tablet, I can work from anywhere. My clients can see me. I can see them if they want, or we could just do things over the phone, because now our companies are looking at how can we keep our clients safe and ourselves safe, but still provide that quality of service. So texting me at 903-244-1537. And yeah, that's an East Texas number. I've had that number for over 30 years. So I don't plan on changing unless they take it away from me. I can be reached, I'm on Facebook. And anybody can always reach out to Deidre. She has all my information. Contacted.
Right.
She can find me.
I can tell you that.
So Ruby, just one last question. So you mentioned Texas, or do you serve any other surrounding states, or are you just licensed in Texas, or how does that work for you?
Well, with insurance, it's pretty simple. My home state is Texas, so I got licensed in Texas first, and I'm licensed in 10 additional states. So, and if someone calls me from another state and I'm not licensed, I go online and get licensed. It doesn't take long. You just have to pay for a licensing fee. So, you know, if they need my help, regardless of where they are, I can get a license to help them if I don't have one, or I can find somebody that can help them. The thing is, it's not about just me getting the commission. It's about meeting their need where they are. And if I can't provide that need, I have a network of resources and business associates that might be able to fill that need. Because you know, you can't be all things to everybody.
Right.
And so
That's-
I have some great associates and team members.
Absolutely.
That's so good.
Well, Ruby, thank you for your time. This has been so informative.
And it's so great to see you, Ruby, and to learn more about what you are doing. And, you know, if I can ever help you, well, just give me a call, because that's what Deidre and I do. Just help you.
Okay. Also, I want people to understand, I don't charge you for sitting down with you and helping you look at what you have. That policy review is what we call it if you have insurance in place, or just looking at what you need. You know, there's certain amounts that you might need. Some people will sit down and say, well, I need $50,000 worth of coverage. Okay, have you put a pin to that and see what your actual needs are? So I sit down with you and help you explore what your needs are. How much coverage do you truly need to take care of your life and your beneficiaries and family if you're no longer here to do it? So I charge for that. The insurance companies pay me when I put a policy in place, but I don't charge for sitting down and educating people and helping to make an informed decision. So that's my blessing.
That is quite a blessing. You're right. So,
Mission before commission.
thank you. Yeah. Mission before commission. I love that. I've never heard that before. I love that. So I might have to.
So Ruby, say that number one more time before we shut down.
Okay, it's 903-244-1537. Best way is to send me your name and in a text message and what you're looking for. I'll call you. And also have a website. It's rubyshoals.com. So that's RUBYSHOALS.com. And there's quite a few videos on there that explains different types of insurance. So it's a good educational spot to go and learn about long-term care, living benefits, the difference between term and whole life, that type of thing. So it's a resource out there for you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again, Ruby, for your time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Health Chats Among Friends, where we bring you reputable resources from our local communities. Tune in next week for another amazing guest with another amazing resource.
Yeah, it's a bit fun.
Thank you for having me, guys.
You are welcome.